That snorkel isn't a styling accessory. It's a declaration of intent. Chevrolet just built the most capable production pickup truck America has ever seen. And the cabin it's wrapped around will shock you. That snorkel is the first clue to where this truck came from, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why it was added and who specifically asked for it. Is this worth what Chevrolet is going to ask for it? My answer is going to depend entirely on who's asking. We're covering the exterior engineering, the performance platform, and a cabin that makes no sense on a truck this aggressive until you understand the full story. Word I'm hearing is this build started with a brief from a program that had nothing to do with the consumer truck market, and that brief changed everything. Here's what stands out first, and it's not the light bar, it's the snorkel. A factory-fitted snorkel on a production Silverado is significant for one specific reason. It isn't designed for one river crossing. It's designed for repeated, sustained operation in environments where dust and water ingestion are routine operational variables, not occasional hazards. That design intent changes the engineering calculus for everything else on this truck. Word I'm hearing is that the ZRX program originated from a defense mobility research brief, a small joint team working on survivable light vehicle platforms for austere environments. The consumer truck is the civilian derivative. That's not marketing language. That explains the snorkel, the suspension architecture, and as you're about to see, the interior. Speculative tech number 1, an electronically managed adaptive intake valve integrated into the snorkel system. It reads ambient particulate density and humidity in real time, preconditioning airflow before it reaches the turbo. In dusty desert conditions, the valve restricts and pre-filters. On clean mountain air, it opens fully from maximum charge. Standard snorkels are passive. This one thinks. But the story that surprises people most isn't under the hood. It's inside the cab. Step inside and the contradiction hits you immediately. Outside, a truck designed to ford rivers and navigate boulder fields. Inside, cognac saddle leather on every surface, hexagonal embossing on the seat cushions, Chevy bow tie debossed into the headrests, and a full Alcantara headliner that runs edge to edge. This is a level of interior specification you don't see on trucks until you reach the $90,000 price bracket, and even then, not always. The door panels tell the more complete story. Carbon fiber trim cap at the top, Alcantara insert in the midsection, full leather armrest and pull. That's 3 distinct material zones in a single door panel. The engineering reasoning is sound. Carbon and Alcantara are both lightweight and resistant to flex fatigue, which matters when door panels are being stressed by constant off-road movement and temperature cycling. The infotainment, a landscape screen roughly 13 inches wide, shows something interesting on the instrument cluster: dedicated terrain geometry readouts. Speculative tech number 2, what I'd call Active Terrain HMI, a sensor fusion display that pulls pitch, roll, wheel articulation, and approach angle data into a single real-time visual on the driver's screen. Land Rover does a version of this with wade sensing. This goes further, integrating suspension travel remaining at each corner so you know exactly how much more articulation you have before a wheel lifts. That's information that matters when you're picking a line at 3 miles per hour, not just highway driving. Where I think they've left something on the table is screen size relative to the dash real estate. There's room for a larger unit here, and for a truck at this price point and capability level, I'd expect it. The interior earns its premium. Now let's look at whether the exterior engineering delivers the same return. Here's what I can tell you about that defense program origin story. The brief reportedly required the platform to operate for 72 hours without resupply. Fuel, water, power, in a communications-denied environment. That requirement drove 3 specific engineering decisions. You've seen one of them. The second one is in the cabin. The third one is what's under the hood. Start at the front. That steel bumper is a full bash unit, not a styled overlay, with an integrated winch mount and dual cube aux lights flanking the lower openings. The hood vent is functional, venting heat from the engine bay under sustained high-load operation. The riveted fender flares are bolted on, not bonded, which is intentional. Bolted flares can be replaced individually after trail damage without a body shop. That's a working truck decision. The lift appears substantial. I'd estimate 4 to 5 inches of suspension travel over stock based on arch gap and visual proportion against the standard Silverado's 8.9-inch ground clearance spec. The mud terrain tires look to be in the 37 to 38-inch range. At that diameter, you need the lift to prevent contact, but you also need the differential gearing recalibration to maintain functional speedometer accuracy and towing torque multiplication. On a build at this level, that recalibration should be factory standard. Rear: spare tire carrier integrated into the bed rack, fuel cans, recovery boards, and square tube rack structure that appears load-rated beyond what most production racks carry. The Chevrolet tailgate lettering uses full-width LED illumination. Functional? No, but it's a strong visual signature at night on a trail. Exterior makes the capability promise. Here's what's under the hood to back it up. Platform baseline: the L87's 6.2-liter V8 producing 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque made it to a 10-speed automatic. For the ZRX, the expectation and the exhaust note from available audio suggests this is a recalibrated torque curve optimized for low RPM sustained output rather than peak horsepower. You don't need 420 horses at 5,500 RPM on a rock crawl. You need 400 pound-feet of torque at 1,500 RPM, held flat through the rev range. Speculative tech number 3. Predictive torque vectoring via GPS trail mapping integrated with the IMU sensor suite. Current torque vectoring systems react to wheel spin after it begins. A predictive system uses known trail grade data and real-time body attitude to pre-allocate torque front to rear and side to side up to half a second before the terrain demands it. Against a Ram TRX, which produces 702 horsepower but relies on reactive traction management, a predictive system on a 420 horsepower platform can deliver a meaningfully better trail experience, more control, less drama. All of that brings us to pricing and the honest answer on who this actually makes sense for. Now, here's what I actually think, and I want to be completely straightforward with you. The defense program backstory isn't a marketing narrative. It's the reason this interior is this good on a truck this capable. When you're engineering for 72-hour autonomous operation, you don't cut corners on where people spend those 72 hours. That's why the leather is that good. That's why the headliner is Alcantara. Pricing. For a factory-integrated build at this specification and capability level, expect a window sticker between $78,000 and $92,000 depending on powertrain and trim configuration. Context: a Ram TRX, currently the most credible performance off-road competitor, runs $82,000 to $95,000 and delivers significantly more horsepower but less refined terrain management and a substantially less impressive interior. A loaded Ford F-150 Raptor R lands around $82,000 with comparable off-road credentials, but no snorkel, no full steel bumper, and no factory rack system. On depreciation, highly specified, low-volume off-road trucks have historically held value well when they carry genuine mechanical differentiation. The ZRX's factory integration, snorkel, steel bumper, rack, lift, should protect it at trade-in better than a stock truck with aftermarket additions, which always depreciate as parts. Here's the call. If you regularly use your truck in genuinely remote terrain, multi-day, no cell service, real consequences if something goes wrong, this is the most seriously engineered production option in this segment right now. The factory capability integration justifies the premium. If your off-road use is weekend trails and dirt roads, the standard ZR2 or a Raptor gets you 80% of the capability for $25,000 to $30,000 less. That's the honest answer. The snorkel from the Open? It came from a brief that required 72-hour autonomous operation. Now you know why everything else on this truck is the way it is. At the Open, I said that snorkel was a declaration of intent. Having walked through the engineering and the origin story, I'd say it's more than that. It's a mission statement. And for the right buyer, that mission statement is worth every dollar. I'd love your take, especially if you've built a serious off-road rig or put real miles on a TRX. Drop it below. ZRX versus TRX head-to-head, that's the next one. Subscribe if this kind of analysis is what you're here for. See you then.